Tokyo was a city of endless culinary wonders, and I had always prided myself on trying the most exotic dishes the world had to offer. From fried tarantulas in Cambodia to fermented shark in Iceland, nothing fazed me. But when my friend Akira mentioned a secret restaurant in Tokyo that served something truly forbidden, I hesitated. "It's illegal," I muttered, swirling my sake glass in the dimly lit bar. Akira smirked. "Not in this place. It's underground, exclusive. You need an invitation." The idea sent a shiver down my spine, but curiosity gnawed at me. What did human flesh taste like? Was it really like pork, as rumors suggested? Against my better judgment, I leaned in. "How do you get in?" Akira slid a black card across the table. A red kanji symbol, our shokuyoku, was the only marking. "Tomorrow night, 11 p.m., he said, behind a ramen shop in Shinjuku. Knock twice, then once." I took the card, my pulse quickening. I had no idea I was stepping into a nightmare. The next night, I stood in the shadowy alley behind the ramen shop, my breath visible in the cold night air. I knocked twice, then once. A peephole slid open, an eye examined me, and the door creaked ajar. Inside, the restaurant exuded a quiet elegance. Red lanterns bathed the room in warm light. The air was thick with the intoxicating scent of sizzling meat. A few well-dressed patrons sat at black marble tables, savoring their meals in near silence. A woman in a crimson kimono approached me, her pale face adorned with an eerie, knowing smile. "Welcome, honored guest," she said softly. "Follow me." She led me to a private booth and placed a single menu before me. There were no prices, only cryptic dish names. The tender offering, the forbidden delight, the gift of the departed. I hesitated. "What do you recommend?" Her crimson lips curled. "The forbidden delight." I swallowed. "I'll take it." As I waited, anticipation twisted in my gut. What was I doing? Was I truly prepared for this? But then the dish arrived. A delicate plate of seared meat, glistening with a dark sauce, lay before me. It looked normal, almost like Wagyu beef. The aroma alone was intoxicating. I picked up my chopsticks and placed a piece in my mouth. The flavor exploded on my tongue, rich, buttery, unlike anything I had ever tasted. It melted, sending shivers down my spine. I had never experienced such pleasure from food before. I devoured another piece, and another. I couldn't stop. Then, as I reached for the last bite, something small glinted in the dim light. I pulled it from the meat, a tiny sliver of metal. A ring, a wedding band. I froze, my stomach churning. My mind screamed at me to run, but I needed to know. I stumbled toward the kitchen, ignoring the waitress's call. As I pushed open the swinging doors, the scene before me made my blood turn to ice. The kitchen was pristine, chefs working with calm precision. But at the far end, a row of stainless steel tables held human bodies. Some fresh, some half-butchered, limbs neatly severed, torsos flayed open like beef carcasses. Then, among them, I saw a face I knew. Akira. His vacant eyes stared at the ceiling, his body skinned down to exposed muscle. A wave of nausea hit me as I staggered back. I told you, didn't I?" I turned. The woman in the kimono stood behind me, her smile eerily composed. "This restaurant serves only the finest cuts," she murmured, "and the best way to ensure freshness," she tilted her head, "was to invite new guests." I turned to run, but hands seized me from behind. A cloth pressed against my face. The scent was sweet, cloying. Chloroform. Darkness swallowed me. I woke up strapped to a metal table, my limbs bound. The kitchen's fluorescent lights burned above me, casting a stark glow on the gleaming knives laid out beside me. The chefs surrounded me, their faces impassive. The woman traced a cold finger along my arm. "You have excellent flesh, well marbled. You'll make a perfect dish." My breath came in ragged gasps. "Please, don't do this." She simply smiled. The knife pressed against my skin. Then a crash. The doors burst open. Police officers swarmed the room, guns raised. The chefs scrambled, but they were quickly subdued. The woman in the kimono locked eyes with me for a single moment before she disappeared into the chaos. I was saved. Days later, I sat in a Tokyo police station, answering question after question. The restaurant had been operating for years, luring in victims with its exclusivity. The police had been investigating, but they had never gotten close until me. I was the only survivor. "They'll never find her," one officer muttered. "She's like a ghost." I barely heard them. My mind was trapped in the memory of that meal. That taste, that euphoric, indescribable taste. And then late that night, alone in my hotel room, I felt it. A hunger, a craving for human flesh. No matter what I ate, steak, pork, fish, nothing satisfied me. Nothing but the memory of the forbidden delight. And deep inside I knew I would do anything to taste it again. Even if it meant becoming the next chef.